So to get started, we're going to go ahead and check out clone the Foster repo. The Foster repo is located at this address. And for anybody who hasn't seen it before, the silo group projects all have a combined SCM. That's this here. It's going to be at source.suroindustries.com. And for any confusion, Silo Group is just a holding group for a lot of Suro's projects. So we'll go ahead and log in here. I usually use your Feigns. Sometimes I'm Bagheera. It depends on what mood I'm in. And then when you log in, I can see a lot more repos than you guys can. But the one that we're looking for is Foster under the Cycle 0. And in fact, everything that you're ever going to need for the Suro Linux project is going to be in that repository until we hit release, and then we'll kind of do some restructuring. So Exemplar is the tool that drives all of the builds. Foster is the actual build itself. Foster uses Exemplar to do what it does. It also uses some other neat tools. So let's check out Exemplar first, because you're going to need to understand how that works to really contribute to Foster. Let's take a look here. So Exemplar is a really simple configuration management and workflow tool. What it does is, let me see if I can simpler just to show you here. So Exemplar, you just use CMake to compile it, and then run make. So it's all the documentation's right here on how to use it. I'd actually recommend that you go through that, but we'll cover how to actually use it here in a moment. We're gonna just dive right to the deep end because this is really very simple. And then Foster is the actual compilation. If you're familiar with Linux from scratch, you're going to be familiar with what Foster is doing. So what it's doing is it uses Exemplar as an automation workflow tool to download the source code for all the various libraries and projects that need to be compiled to create a Linux distribution. So it's going to download everything from source, compile it, and there's more to it than that. Basically, what we're doing is we're creating a trut, and we're gonna use the cross compiler on the build system to populate that trut. And one of those things that we're populating it with is its own native internal compiler, and then we're going to bootstrap into that internal compiler and use that to build the rest of the distribution from inside the trut. And Exemplar will be doing that too. So let's go ahead and get started with the build, because I think it's causing some confusion trying to just explain it. So let's go ahead and start fresh here. So let's go ahead and clone the Foster repository. Let's go into our directory here. Now, when you clone the Foster repository, you're going to notice that first there's a Docker file, there's a make file, and there's this bootstrap file and the controls.